This is the video for section 8.1, and what we're looking at is polynomials. We're going to start off by knowing what a monomial is, and the monomial means that it's one, just one, of the following. It can be a constant. What a constant means is just a number without a variable. So I'm going to put just a number. Sorry, didn't fit. And then, or a variable. A variable is just a letter. Or the product of both. Just to make sure that everybody's okay, let me give you some examples over here. I said a constant, so like an 8, a -7, 15, 1/4, just a number. A variable, so y, x, z, it's just a letter, or a combination of any of those things, which would be like 8y. Or -7x. This is a product of those two things together. These are still called a monomial. A binomial, that prefix means two, like a bicycle, bifocal. I can't think of anything else. That is the sum of two monomials. Just to make sure that everybody is okay, I'm going to give you some examples right here. So 3x plus 8. Here's one monomial and here's another monomial, making it a binomial. Or something like -7y plus 4x. Here's one monomial and here's another monomial, making it a binomial. I want to point out that the monomial can be negative, so if I were to rewrite this one, it looks like 4x minus 7y. So it doesn't have to be sum, we're just putting those two things together and it can be subtraction. The prefix tri means 3. So these would be 3 monomials added together, or the sum of 3 monomials. Tricycle, triangle, some words that start with tri, and then these would look like this: 2x squared plus 7x minus 4. So this is still a monomial because it's the product of variables and constants, which are just numbers. To name the degree of a monomial, it is the sum of all exponents within the term. So you got to add the exponents together. So the degree of this monomial would be 3, because that is the exponent. It says or sum, so we're going to add them together. 3 plus 2 is 5, and the degree of this monomial is 5. Degree of a polynomial, so this monomial means just one of them. Polynomial means more than one, and what you have to do is get the greatest degree, and that is the degree of the polynomial. So what do I mean? For this monomial, the degree is 5 because you add the 3 plus 2. The degree of this monomial is 3 because there's 2 right here and there's a 1 that we don't need to write and we can't see. The degree of this one then would be 1 because there's an exponent of a 1 we can't see. since 5 is the highest degree of one monomial, then 5 is the degree of all the polynomial. Or this would be a trinomial since there's 3 of them. Let's practice. The first thing it says type of polynomial. What you're trying to do here is see how many monomials we have. We have one right here and one right here, making this one a binomial. On this one, we have 1, 2, 3 monomials, making it a trinomial. This one is just a constant, that means just a number. So this one is called a monomial, because it's just one. If you even have a product of those two, remember it's just one of them, still making it a monomial. You still have to combine like terms. How you combine like terms is that it had to have the same letter and the same exponent. To combine like terms, we remember had the same letter to the same exponent. That's 6 minus x, which makes it 5x plus 4. You have to combine like terms first, then to tell me that this has 2 monomials, making it a binomial. This only has one product, so this is a monomial. Let's talk about their degrees. This monomial is to the first degree. This monomial, remember there's a 1, if you can't see the exponent, is to the 5th degree. Since the 5 is the higher one, then we know that the degree of the polynomial is 5. This degree is 3. This degree is 2. This degree is actually 0. This is just a side note that if you have an x to the 0 power, it's 1. So technically, we do have a variable on it to the 0 power, but we're just going to say 0. So anytime you don't see a letter, the power will be 0. Because there's no exponent, or the exponent is 0. But the highest one is 3, so the degree is 3. So the degree of something that doesn't have a letter is 0. That makes this degree 0. That's the highest one. This one has a degree of 1, so anytime you see the variable, it will be 1. This one, when you combine the like terms, the exponent is 1. So this binomial is also 1 because this one is 0. And then the exponent on this one is 2, making the monomial a degree of 2. The next part. It says standard form of a polynomial. Degrees are in order from least to greatest. Greatest to least. Greatest to least. So we have to know the degrees of the monomials first. This one has a power of 4. This one has a power of 0. This one has a power of 3. Don't forget that one right there. And this one has a power of 5. That means that the order they go in is the 6x to the 5th. That's the highest one. The next one would be a positive 4x to the 4th. The next one is the power of 3, which is a positive 5x squared y. You don't have to write the 1. If you want to, you can. And then the last one is minus 7. So you put them in order from greatest to least. And then the leading coefficient is just like it sounds. It leads. And that's the one first in front of the term, making this one your leading coefficient. The coefficient of the first term in standard form. So the leading coefficient is 6. Let's practice. In standard form, this degree is 2, this degree is 6, this degree is 1. That means that from highest to lowest, we have a positive 3x to the 6 plus, because it's positive, 9x squared, and then minus 4x. Making the leading coefficient 3. The degree to this one is 0. The degree to this one is 1. The degree to this one is 2. The degree of this one is 3. How did I get 1 here? Remember, there's an exponent right here. How did I get 2 for this one? There's an exponent here and here. How did I get 3 for this one? There's an exponent right there. Now we got to put them in order. 8xy squared is first. Then plus 6xy, because that's 2. Plus 5y, that has a degree of 1. And then plus 12. Making the leading coefficient 8. This has a degree of 1, a degree of 0, and a degree of 2. Making the standard form 5y squared, because it has the highest degree, minus, because it was a negative, 4y, and then plus 2. Making the leading coefficient 5. This has a degree of 1, this a degree of 2, and this is a degree of 0. So the negative 7x squared, because it has a negative sign in front of it, is the highest degree. Then a positive 6x, because there was no negative sign in front of it. And then plus 8. Making the leading coefficient -7. The degree of this one is 3. The degree of this one is 5. The degree of this one is 0. The degree of this one is 1. So the highest one is x to the 5th. The next one is a positive x to the 3rd. Then a negative x. And then plus 3. Making your leading coefficient 1. Remember, there's always a 1 in front of the variables as well that we mentioned all the time that we need to find slope.